Hello everyone and welcome back to another Godzilla Battle Line video. A little late, but better than never. We're here with the tier list for season, I don't know what this is, 40? I think last season's was 39, so this season would be 40. And it is late, so it's not really helpful this season that it comes out. But when the next season starts, this video will have everything but whatever the 1, 2, or 3, or 4 brand new units are. So unless something incredibly drastic happens where the whole meta is flipped on its head, this list will work for you for the next month, and then come back to the channel and I'll have an updated tier list sometime on the channel, hopefully earlier in the month. Very busy this month. Sick, family, the whole nine. So today we're going to go over the 2 characters from last season now that they are not rentable. It is going to be the ride versions of Godzilla and Ghidorah. We're going to talk about the 3 units that got adjusted at the beginning of this season, which is Mothra Leo, Rodan, and Megaguirus. And then we're talking about the 2 units that are featured in this season, the anime trilogy Mechagodzilla and the anime trilogy Ghidorah. So, first things first. Last season, I had Ride Godzilla in the S+ tier, and I had King Ghidorah Ride in the A tier. And I think those are relatively safe options, although I will put the Ride Godzilla a bit lower. I would maybe put him in S tier, probably somewhere behind Gauss. Maybe I would even do this. Something like this. So, in S tier, I still think for his regular attack, it's not super great. I like the stomp that he does for the 30% extra damage when an enemy is close to dying, but mostly you are using him to put that critical hit buff on your characters, your team. He's the only character right now that is giving that critical hit buff, whether he's on the field or he's a leader. And that's what a lot of people use him for. Not a lot of people have him at super high levels, but he is extremely useful. I wish his energy would come down by 1. If he was a 5 cost, it'd be a little bit easier to slot into teams. It is what it is. I think he's good in the S. He was S+ last season. This season, he's going to be in the S. And then the Ride Ghidorah. I believe Ride Ghidorah was in a good spot in the A. I had him last season right under 1,000 year, but I think this season I would be putting him right ahead of the Tokyo Bay version of Godzilla 1954. A lot of great damage coming out of him. I like the lightning blast that he does when he comes down the field, but he's not, I don't know, he's not quite hitting that mark. Maybe in a few months people have him at higher levels, he'll see a little bit more play, but I thought he would be more impactful than the other Godzilla, but he doesn't feel as impactful, and then this guy being able to give out that new buff is phenomenal. I like that a lot. Mothra Leo got an increase to their HP and the increase to their attack. Last season I had them in about here in B tier, right underneath. If I'm looking at my chart correctly, I had them right under Burning Godzilla, and this season I would probably put them, move them up. They are taking a seat. I think maybe I would put them higher in B if Fukuoka Godzilla wasn't rentable this season. The crystals really stopped this guy from doing anything. So he's taking a backseat because Fukuoka is rentable, but people are still using Gauss, people are still using Shinden. So as long as Shinden exists in any capacity, this guy's perpetually going to be pretty low. The crystals flying around are also going to be a problem for him. So he did move up. He moved up a few spaces from behind Burning Godzilla, but Mothra Leo's going there. Rodan got lowered cost by 1, increased movement speed boost effect, and increased duration of movement speed boost effect. He was also pretty low. He was behind Godzilla 21. But this season, I honestly would put Rodan just about maybe here, top of B, perhaps even right here. I really like Rodan at 4 energy. It feels nice, so it's an easy evolution, and then you have a nice speed boost, you have a decent heal, little bit of damage. I mean, he's a 4 cost, right? So he's not doing a ton of damage. I like where he's at. Rodan's in a really good spot. I've been using him a lot this season because I thought this was the best change of the group, and I think most players, especially long-term players, would agree with me that Rodan this season is absolutely killing it. I like him a lot. This change doesn't mean he's in the A or anything, but I think he's definitely at the top of B. I think you feel comfortable using him on your team. Next is Megaguirus, who just had lowered cost. Megaguirus last month was in C. They were right here last season, and their lowered cost is pretty good. I still think they are a solid unit. I would probably put them maybe here. I don't know what they are, 3-4 costs now. So I don't remember what they're 4 or 3. I could check 4 or 3 costs. I don't even remember what Megaguirus is. They are 4 costs now. So Megaguirus, pretty solid. I think she needs some stat readjustments. She's a day one unit, like literally from the launch of the game, that hasn't really received any love in a long time. Lowering the cost is a good start, but I think if they want Megaguirus to be any kind of viable in the meta, she has to get her stats adjusted. She's running on old stats. She's a little weak compared to a lot of the newer stuff that we're getting. So she is not going to graduate out of the C tier, but she's still halfway decent nonetheless. Now, let's talk about the two new units. We'll talk about... You know what, we'll do Void Ghidorah first. I think there's a lot to talk about with Mechagodzilla. So we'll talk about Void Ghidorah. Has a really complicated kit, but probably the easiest to get through. So, I'm just going to read you the whole introduction for the character as it is in the game. Void Ghidorah, okay? On use, this battle piece's cost changes automatically. It can be used for 3 cost, 6 cost, or 9 cost, and will be deployed at the highest cost when used. So, like, if you have 9 energy and you deploy it, you can't deploy it for 6. You have to deploy it for the 9. If you have 7 energy, you deploy it, it's going to deploy for 6. You can't deploy it for 3. Stuff like that. Deals damage to a percentage of the maximum HP of all units for a period of time, not effective on leaders. 3 cost, it's going to... This is just... I think these are the stats for that mine is currently at. I don't know if these change, but... Mine is a level 16 rented. 3 cost, it deals 8.77% damage per second for 3 seconds. At 6 cost, it deals 9.9% damage per second for 6 seconds. And at... Or that's at 6 cost, I'm sorry. And at 9 cost, it deals 11.8% damage per second for 9 seconds. So at level 16, for 9 seconds, it's doing 99% health. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. I like him a lot. I like this Ghidorah a lot. The main gripe with this Ghidorah is this is one of the units that I think it takes a lot of levels to get the most use out of. Because at lower levels, you are hitting for still like 8%, 9%, 10%, or 11%, or whatever it is. But you're not securing the kills, and if you're gonna blow 9 energy on a character that isn't even gonna touch the battlefield, you're gonna want it to get kills. At least with Godzilla, like Godzilla Earth, right? Or Zeton are 8 costs, or Earth is 9, Zeton is 8. And at least with them, you get a body on the board to block shots and stuff. This Void Ghidorah, you cannot use him to block shots. You can use him at 3 to like finish off enemies. That's fine. You can use him to get rid of the Rainbow Mothra buff. That's fine. It doesn't affect leaders, so you're not going to get rid of the Rainbow Mothra buff on enemy leaders. I like this card a lot. I thought that this was going to be the standout card of this season. It has an incredibly unique kit. So we've never seen anything in here before. But as the season has progressed, I have seen significantly less people play with this Void Ghidorah. Is that because people have not been obtaining as many pieces for them? Is this because people have realized that there's better strategy? I don't know. I like that it does a whole lot of damage. I like it a lot. I just think that maybe it is too expensive to not have something on the board. If I go to my unit data table for a second in my Discord, because I haven't added these stats to the stat sheet yet. Okay, so there are stats for level 30 Ghidorah. So at level 30, the 3 cost ability is doing 9.12%. At 6 cost, the ability is doing 10.38. And then at 9 cost, is doing 11.57. So, okay, at level 30... This guy is one-shotting most characters. 11.57% of an enemy's health for 9 seconds. That means it's at least you're hitting 99% health, and then you're gonna hit more than 99% health because I think that's how it works, right? Because it's not taking it of the health; it's dealing damage based on the health, or it's just taking the health. I don't know. I just read it. I don't remember how it works, but the minutia of it. But the point is, you're almost hitting for 12% every second. That's more than enough to kill a unit. But that's at level 30. And at level 20, going from 29 to 30, it only goes up by 0.02%. So you would have to have it at least at level 26 to be doing 100% health. I think that's the... What's it? So this is one at level 39 right here. At level 39, at 9 cost, it's doing 11.75 damage a second. So, yeah, I have... Oh my god, I have all of this right here. Yeah, it's a lot. So, what's at 25? At level 25, it's 11.47, and at level 26, it's 11.49. That means at 11.27, oh, it goes up by 2. So at level 27, the 9-costed ability hits for 11.51 every time. And that's for 9 ticks for 11.51 health of their health bar. So I think this unit is really cool. I think he's really unique. I think a lot of people have gotten a lot of use out of him this season. Unless you're deploying it to guarantee a kill, I don't really see this as being extremely viable. You can still get one-shots on units when he is lower. It's going to be a little bit more difficult. You're going to need to weaken them, right? At level 9, starting at level 27 or whatever it was, 26 or 27, you can one-shot enemies without touching them with other units. But even at rent to level 16, if you just damage your enemies a little bit, trains, Dimension Tide, whatever, then you can secure a kill at 9 cost. But it's a lot of investment for nothing on the board, and if your opponent can make it through that push with a Fire Rodan, who just got a buff, Psychic Chorus, Bylante, Wakatsuba, anything that heals, if they can survive that, you just use 9 energy to not deploy anything on the field. So, I like him a lot. He's rentable this season. He's an effect, not a character. I think that this card definitely is in the S tier. I think he's probably somewhere like... I'd put him right up here in the S tier. I don't quite think he's S+. I think the drawback of not having a body on the board is enough to bring him down a little bit. But an argument can be made there. Next, we're going to talk about 2018's Mechagodzilla Counter Godzilla Super Heavy Mass Nanometal Decisive Battle Weapon. Now, this is an 8-cost character that puts a body on the field. That's what we like. So, I'll read you the introduction page for him as well. Upon deployment, he's permanently immune to stun. Good. Takes 50% less damage from enemy units at a distance of 65 meters or more. So, the wording, I believe, on this is a little bit misleading. They do not have to be 65 meters or further away. Their attack range has to be 65 meters or more. So like Ultima, his range is like 100 or 90 or whatever it is, will take 50. This Mechagodzilla will take 50% less damage from characters with a attack range of 65 or more. From my understanding, that's how this truly works. It doesn't matter if they are within the tile range. It could be if they're within the tile range, but I think it's just if their range is 65 meters or more. At least that's what I've been told. Could be wrong, but he's taking reduced damage. Phenomenal. Damage reduction effect is removed if own HP is less than 50%. So he has like a nano machine, nanometal, nanomite, nanobite, nanocarbonadium machine, nanotech shield that floats around him like a big orb. Kind of the way that 1000-Year Dragon has an orb around him, right there on the screen, like that yellow orb. This Mechagodzilla's got a blue one. When this Mechagodzilla goes at 50% health or lower, it disappears, goes away. And that's the damage reduction. That's the range damage reduction effect. One square in the battlefield is equal to 30 meters. So, okay, so I was right originally that it is if they are 65 meters away or more. So that is 2.5. Now, if each is 30, it's like 2 and a little bit tiles away. Because each tile is 30, so 2 tiles is 60. And then a little bit of that third one, that's enough. So, that's the damage reduction. When attacking, the attacks change according to the location on the map. When Mechagodzilla is close to the allied leader, so that's like a little bit more than halfway across the map, it can attack a single enemy unit within its attack range 3 times. This is when it's close to your leader, right? Yeah, when close to allied leader. So this is when he is below the halfway point on the map. It's close to your leader. He uses like his turret. He's like boom, boom, boom. He attacks one unit 3 times. But if it's like a weak unit, you can go back to my All-Star Battle videos and you can see it if he's attacking like a Kamacuras, right? And each shot, if it's the Swarm of 5 and each shot kills 1 apiece, he'll hit like boom, boom, boom. It won't be 3 on 1 Kamacuras and its weights. It'll be like boom, 1 Kamacuras dead, boom, 1 Kamacuras dead, boom, 1 Kamacuras dead. So if he kills an enemy with this ability, he switches targets for the next shot immediately. It's really, really solid the way that works. When close to the enemy leader, so this is when he's on the opposite side of the map, he will perform a vertical, long-range attack with an attack power boosted by 150% and deals an additional 5 successive attacks with 30% attack power. So he has like 2 spears, and they jet out. That's one big hit, and it does piercing. Everything in that straight line, which is an extremely far line, will take piercing. And then he hits 5 times like Mothra. How Mothra does like the little ticks, like pop, 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 pop. He does the same thing for 30% of attack power. A balanced unit that takes reduced damage from long-range attacks and changes up its own attacks depending on its position on the battlefield. Its high durability makes it a reliable unit with a variety of uses, such as to protect allies on the front lines or advance from behind other allied units as a key attacker. Since it cannot mitigate damage from close-range attacks, try to prevent enemy units from getting too close to it. He is the standout of the season. At first, I thought he was going to be a little bit too complicated, a little bit too clunky. He's 8 cost. He's phenomenal. This guy is phenomenal. He's definitely way stronger when he's on the enemy side of the map. You use Gigan to rush him up. You use the Biolante ability to rush him up. Fire Rodan, newly buffed Fire Rodan, to rush him up to the enemy side. Activate that piercing ability. He's going to run through people. You pair Dimension Tide with this. You pair Ghidorah with this. You're just going to start running through your enemies. It is really quite something. This Mechagodzilla is really good. I like him a lot. I really have all good things to say about this Mechagodzilla. I've been using him a lot in the egg mode, and I've been, doing one really big push on the right-hand side, and then deploying this Mechagodzilla on the left, and then using Gigan's leader ability and rushing him up on the other side. He's extremely easy to defeat and manageable if you can reach him on the enemy side of the field. As soon as he crosses the threshold into your side of the field, he becomes an absolute nightmare to deal with, especially if he still has the damage reduction shield up. If he has that damage reduction shield up and he's crossed to your side of the map and your opponent, and they're going to take advantage of that, they're ready to pounce, Dimension Tides, like trains, whatever, you're in for a really rough time. He is a standout unit. He is absolutely phenomenal. Okay? How is he going to perform in the coming months? I don't know. How is he performing right now? He's doing better than a lot. Better than a lot of characters. I mean, mine is at level 20 right now. Rented at level 20. His HP is 4,515. His attack is 300. His attack speed is 2.8. His search range is 80. He can target leaders, ground, aerial, and facilities. His reach is 75. That's really good. His movement speed is 6. Really slow. He's stun resistant. His range damage with the piercing is 750. And then the little burst damages that he does, it does 90 apiece. And then he takes reduced. It says taking damage from reach 65 and higher. So that's conflicting. The stats page says it is from characters with reach that is 65 and higher, but the other thing says it is from if they are a specific amount of tiles away. So I am confused on how that really works. I'm pretty sure it is from the characters with the 65 reach or higher, not the exact measurement of tile. So he has damage reduction from high-ranged units, which is good. That's like units like Ghidorah, Super Mechagodzilla, Ultima, Ginza even. So there's a lot of really strong units here that have higher than 65 range. Actually, I could probably pull it up, honestly, what some of the ranges are. I have that sheet. What's the point of me collecting all this data if I'm not going to use it? Unit upgrades, deboost, speeds, and range. Let's go to attack range. Everything above 65 or 65 or higher, there's a lot. So, Space Godzilla Fukuoka, Kiryu Heavy Arms, Eva 08, Eva 2, Embon 93, Godzilla 21, Destroy Perfect Form, Eva 1, Hetero Mature Form, Biolante Flower, Naranga, Mothra Larva, Terrestrius, Space Godzilla, Embon Base, Batra Larva, Batra Mago, Gauss Adult, Rodan, Shin 4th Form, Godzilla 04, The Helicopters, Monster X, Godzilla The Ride, Gairen, Godzilla 2001, Kiryu, Dab, or Destroy Dab, King Ghidorah 91, Mecha King Ghidorah, Kaiser Ghidorah, Gamera, Kumo Augment, Chibi Duo, Godzilla Evolved, Shimo, Kiryu Kai, Thousand Year Dragon, Megalon, King Ghidorah 19, Mechagodzilla 74, Chibi Mechagodzilla, Mogera 94, Ultraman, Godzilla Earth, 10th Angel, Super Mechagodzilla, Des Ghidorah, Mothra 19, Manila, Markalite Cannon, Ultima, Zeton, Super X. All of those he takes 50% reduced damage from. That is a lot. And there are a lot of really good characters on that list. The Chibis, Destroying Dab, Mogera. A lot of the S+ tiers on that list of things that he takes reduced damage from, as long as he's above 50% health. Stun resistance is great. His speed is slow. You crank him up. You get him to the other side of the field. He's going to just absolutely work your opponent like a dog. He's a standout character this season. I am going to put him in the S+ tier. I think he is just doing a swell job kicking ass. So, that is the tier list for this season. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you stayed the whole time. I really appreciate it. I don't know when this will come out, but when you see it, it's either going to be the only video I upload that day, or it's going to be partnered with another video at some point in the day, because I waited until the end of the season to post this, and it's getting posted around the same time we should be getting information on the next season. So, if you want to stick around the channel and, you know, be in the news, be in the know for anything regarding the season 41 of Godzilla Battle Line, I'll be here, keep making videos, so just keep checking by. So, checking me out, checking me by, checking me out, coming by and checking me out, I think is what I wanted to say. But that's what I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.